What's up, everybody? Happy Thursday night. You know what night it is. It is Off-Centered with Dustin, the personal finance dad, the persona fiance dud, the king of mediocre content. And we actually have a special guest again tonight. We had Tyler Nethercott last week, who was just dropping bombs left and right. This week, we have Jay of Mojo Sports, Mojo Autographs. You probably know him. He has a huge and very quickly growing YouTube channel, as well as card and autograph business. Very excited to talk about him. He has phenomenal energy, and it really shows in all of his Instagram posts and YouTube videos. So very excited about what we're going to talk about, which is obviously his story, what's going on in the hobby as well as in sports. And so without further ado, y'all know the drill. Welcome back. Now let's get to work. Let's bring on the guest that y'all already know and don't really care too much about. And there he is.
Cheers. How we doing?
Hey, you're actually in the chair this time. Usually you're either asleep or you're away using the restroom, which is something I should do ahead of time, but I never do. What's up with you, man?
Well, I figured you'd be talking for like 9 minutes, so I have a little bit of time. And then all of a sudden you come to me. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm on. All right.
Well, that's good. It, man. Well, you know what? Compared to last week we had ridiculous news. This week it's more like, settling in, seeing how the Fanatics news is going to affect the hobby. But shout out to Studio Sports. Thank you so much for the super chat off the bat, which I don't know how we earned that. I don't think we did, but I appreciate it. Good to see Troy here. Brian, our guest, is already commenting, which is great. Mike C., that's right. Let's get to work. Stephen Ryan, good to see you as well. What's up, Matt? And yeah, a lot of people in the house already. What's up, Global Sports Card Investor? Brian's Basketball, is good to see you as well. So, dude, what's up with you, man? We'll bring on our guest in a couple minutes, but how's your week going?
It's going good. Brad had actually texted me earlier that he might have to cancel the stream because of a potential hinge date, but I knew that we were going to be totally fine. So, but yeah, that fell through. Shocker, right? Right, folks. Brad, did you freeze? Did you freeze up?
Oh,
your lips haven't moved in a couple minutes.
How in the world is that possible?
Oh man, am I gonna be running this myself? All right.
Oh my gosh.
Brad just turned into a crypto fund.
Oh. Yes, because my Wi-Fi screwed up.
Dude, you got to get off of dial-up. You have got to get off of dial-up, man. You just turned into
Brad, you running net zero?
Yeah. He's got that AOL floppy disk cooking.
Here's the crazy thing.
This is I'm embarrassed for you, man. I'm embarrassed for you.
Brad didn't tell me he was going to vet me as the new co-host for the show. I'm pretty excited. This is a hell of an opportunity.
It's trial by fire with this guy. I mean, it's sad. Well, you know what, Jay? I'm just going to go ahead. I don't know what's going to happen with this. This is always kind
of. Why don't we give him like 30 seconds?
All right. We'll give him 30 seconds.
Yeah. Hope everyone's doing well, man. What's up, everybody?
Highlanders, Bulldozer 99, McDonald's Wi-Fi. Pretty much nailed it. Actually, Brad would probably do better if he was at the McDonald's trying to log on. Bad stream. Hey, Troy, can you hack into this and fix this for Brad?
Is that better or no?
Oh, he's not a crypto punk anymore.
Oh, well, here's the crazy thing. Here's what's weird. My computer, my laptop says 5 bars, but on StreamYard, it says 1. So, like, my laptop is getting great Wi-Fi, and yet the StreamYard is like saying horrible. I'm about to log in on my phone. So anyway, the intro was destroyed. Dustin, you didn't have any news anyway. Your week was boring, more than likely. I was trying to put up other comments on here. Studio Sports, I appreciate your super chat. That's definitely going to the internet fund. So
well, I like how you panicked and just brought Jay in immediately, just in case like he needed to carry it with me. You just had him in. I love that.
Well, dude, I didn't trust you by yourself. I'm like, what are you gonna do? Like, so I'm like, I'll bring Jay on. But anyway, yeah, dude, that was so weird because the internet was fine on my end, but StreamYard was just like saying not at all. But anyway, so let's just skip everything. Jay, you're the guest anyway. Let's have you introduce yourself first, and then we'll catch up on everything.
Yeah, for sure. What's up, everybody? Jay from Mojo Sports. First off, just want to say, Brad, Dustin, thank you so much for having me tonight. I'm excited. Brad, like I said, I don't know if you heard this, but I think you vetted me as the new host for the show potentially. So I'm very excited for the opportunity.
Let's give this a shot. So here we go. Here we go. All right, Jay. So who are you? Like, what's your background? I know you've been in cards for a bit. You've been in autographs. Like, give us a little rundown as to who you are.
Yeah, for sure. What a question, right? So like right now I'm running a sports card autograph business, and I'm a collector at heart. You know, you guys know that I love collecting. I've been collecting for 10 years. I started when I was 16. So in 2011, and I'm 26 now. I'm actually gonna be 27 on Monday. And rumor has it, Brad and Dustin are going to take me out to dinner. Is that right?
Oh my God, man. I feel so old all of a sudden. Dude, I'm 40. Man, I'm gonna like an old man.
Not to like steal the thunder, but today's my 35th birthday.
No way.
Yeah.
Dude, happy birthday. Look at that. Hey, so Dustin, what are you doing for us for our birthday?
Brad's like, enough about you. It's me time.
It's like, okay, I can't. You're already the guest. I can't have you steal any more thunder. So let me just throw this curveball at you. 35th birthday. But
hey, it's our birthdays. That's awesome.
I'll try to throw good internet your way.
Yeah. Seriously, you got to come down to LA, Jay, and we'll go out to the card shops here. We'll have a good time. But you've been in cards and autographs for a while, but it started in autographs, right?
Yeah, it started with autographs. I used to get autographs at games. Growing up in Sacramento, I'm in Sacramento right now. And I created, a Facebook forum for people to talk about autographs and sports cards. And, that was in 2012, 13. And then fast forward 2014, 15, I actually moved to your area. I was living in Los Angeles. We ended up hitting like 25,000 members on there. So I've been very plugged into this whole social media with how you can utilize social media to connect with other collectors. And it's pretty awesome that we're doing the same thing now, but on a different scale, under Mojo Sports. And it's pretty exciting.
What's with the name Mojo?
Yeah.
Because I also saw another company that was Mojo as well. I wasn't sure if that was a card thing that I hadn't heard of, or like you just went with the name because Mojo is a cool word.
No, so Mojo comes from that company is called Mojo Break, and you guys probably know a lot of them. They're very cool, good breakers. They're from Santa Clara, which is close too, and Mojo is from 10, beyond even 10 years, 10 or 15 years ago, maybe longer. When you would open a box, if you pulled, like, let's just say you pulled a LaMelo Ball auto today, you would be like, oh my God, I hit Mojo. And you'd be screaming it out loud and you go crazy. If I go back and watch some of my videos, I screamed Mojo like crazy. And it's because it's like you got your mojo going. You're back on track. When you're opening boxes, it's always a gamble, but you get your mojo flowing. So that kind of inspired it off that.
Brad needs some of that right now.
Yeah, my internet needs some Mojo. So Mojo was basically fire before fire took over.
Yeah, fire, exactly.
Okay, cool.
That's what it was. And you'll see you'll hear it every time. You'll catch it. Watch when people say, last pack Mojo. You can catch people saying that in their videos. Go on, Dustin.
Oh, no. I was just saying that's interesting. I had no idea. But actually, I got kind of confused because I thought you guys were with Mojo Breaks. Like, I thought that was like maybe a sister company or something. So now, okay, good to know.
Yeah.
Cool.
No, they're not.
That's awesome. Okay. Well, cool.
Okay,
I was just going to say, Brad, be quiet for a second. I was going to say,
ask something worthwhile.
Well, no, I was going to actually make a comment that I really like so there's so many different vlog type videos that are out there now. And I feel like you do a really, really good one. Like it's very genuine, like I feel like you're not acting like somebody you're not or whatever. It's like Truman Show, like watching it as, watching you as you are. So I just want to give you a compliment there. I really enjoy your stuff.
I really appreciate that, man. I feel like with the vlogs, and I think it's just the way I live my life. I live this based off of what you see is what you're going to get. I don't want to be different. I want to be, if you see me on camera and I'm saying something, hopefully I'm saying the same thing, when I meet you or you're in a vlog with me.
Well, is this true right here, Jay? You would jump in your pool for viewers? Can you we've done now? Can you jump through that glass window for us?
The pool is right over there. If you want me to, I can climb through the doggy door window. If we organize something out here.
If we hit 200 people on at the same time, Jay will jump through the glass door.
That's wow.
I better get a case of Flawless overnighted here for that.
Brad's like, if we get to 42 people, Jay will jump out of this window. Like, what the hell is that?
It's amazing.
So you've been in the hobby for a while. It's what was the start though? It was autographs, because I remember talking to you a couple months ago, and it started with autographs, but then it got more into cards, and now with cards really being huge, and autographs, it's with cards, but autographs separately don't seem to be as huge of an industry as what cards have become. What was the very beginning? What was like the whole autograph side of it?
Yeah, so for me, the autograph side of it was, you could get, it's like getting cards. It's like buying it was like when you could buy like a blaster box and you could grade all those cards, and you can get, if we're talking finances, because I know you guys talk about investing from that side, from blaster boxes, you could grade those cards and you could make some pretty good money. Well, with autographs, it was the same feeling with like, I could collect and keep the things I love, and I could move the things that I don't really love, and I got to meet Kobe. I met Kevin Durant. I met Shaq. I've met almost the only guy I probably haven't met is LeBron James, and that was what I would do is I would just go to the Kings games, go there an hour and a half early. And it's cool because how we used to throw our base away. I loved base cards because I was meeting, guys like Tayshaun Prince, and they were signing my cards, and it was pretty cool. So I started with that. And then, you talk about the card game. It's so different now, but I think, I talked about this with you, Brad. My dream was always to open a card shop, and it's actually more of a reality today than I could ever imagine it would be. And it's because when I used to go to card shops, I don't know if you know this, but like a lot of them were kind of old, the attitude and everything, the vibe is just off, and I remember it. I remember it like it was yesterday. And don't get me wrong, I love my old LCS. I think they're awesome. But I think guys like myself and Kentucky basketball cards, guys like you, with good energy and enthusiasm, we can change and pass the torch on for a healthier, longevity for this hobby. And I think that's amazing, right? If you want change, what do you have to do? You got to be a part of the change. And I'm so glad that I can do that here.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And I told you this a while ago, is that if you wanted to own your own card shop, you have the experience, but you also have the following, and you're very liked, and you have the social media to be able to make it happen organically. And also, my perspective living in LA, there's a lot of card shops. There are ones that have been around for a long time, and then there are several that have popped up over the last year and a half that are brand new, and it's way more of a trendy, youthful feel. So it doesn't matter if whatever your demographic is, you can find a shop that is tailored to your style. If it's high-end slabs in a more trendy environment, or if it's just dollar cards or penny cards in big boxes and more of that old school feel that you had when you were a kid, there's room for both. So good luck with starting your card shop, like a physical location. I know dude, you'll be able to do that as soon as you want. And maybe it's a better idea just to take your time and see how it goes.
We're taking our time, man. No rush. I'm 100%. We're running an online card store right now, and it's pretty cool.
So what is your business right now? Because you got the YouTube station, you got a couple Instagram stations, you have the autographs, you have cards, you have breaks going on now. Like, describe your business, because it seems like you got your hand in a lot of different things.
Yeah, so Mojo Sports is expanding. I'll make the announcement here. I'm not going to any shows outside of California for September because we got some big things coming. And, I'll announce it tomorrow, but it's pretty cool. I want to double down a little bit. I'm going to stay in California, and got some really exciting things planned. I'm filing out for a team, and we're ready to roll. I think this whole process, it's been 8 months, dude, and we're like, I can't believe how far we've come with 8 months of rebranding. So what we're doing now is it's an online card store. It's a brand. It's a brand where the investor can come, but mostly I've noticed we've catered to a lot of collectors. I've noticed a lot of collectors are placing orders, and a lot of collectors want to talk and say what's up. And I love it. I love that the collector can come up to me, because the collector that's loving the Atlanta Falcons and the Atlanta Hawks also feels the same way about how I feel about the Sacramento Kings, the Oakland Raiders, and the San Francisco Giants. And that's what we're kind of catering to. And I've noticed that. And I think if you're in a business, you realize, hey, this is where my business is going. This is where we're at. And, it's awesome.
Very cool. I was going to say, once you said your team was expanding, I thought to myself, if you need an intern Dustin would be happy to be an unpaid intern for you. He'll
Dustin,
do a lot of your grunt work.
Dustin, will you put the cream cheese on the bagels?
Yeah,
But I need it to be like a lot.
Can I do it virtually?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we can make that happen.
The virtual cream cheese on the virtual bagels, sure. Actually, hey, I have a question for Jay. Just while we're on the topic of autographs, because I've been going heavy into autographed cards, but not like where players sign, but more like, here's an example. Brad, can you make it bigger like it was before?
There we go.
Yeah, but like this is my first Willie Mays auto.
Oh, that's sick.
But it's a 2001 Fleer showcase. I looked it up on Cardboard Connection, and this particular set is supposedly, I guess they're not numbered, but Fleer, I guess, gave an idea on some of these cards, how many they printed. So there's about 60 of these, and this is the highest grade in a 7. But I wanted to get your thoughts on, autos that come on cards like this, where it's Panini or it's Topps or it's Fleer or whatever, versus like autographed bats or it's like or somebody's rookie card that they hand signed and then it's graded with like the DNA, the PSA DNA or whatever. Do you have a preference on which ones you like, don't like, or are there pros, cons to each? Do you have kind of any feelings on that?
Yeah, that's a really great question. I actually was going to make a video about it, but I can actually talk about it here. I'll give you an example. So Justin Herbert did a big autograph signing. So you'll see a lot of Justin Herbert like signed cards that are PSA DNA certified. I got to be honest with you. They're a lot lower priced. They're like $5.99, $7.99 versus if you had that Justin Herbert in a Panini, it'd be like $1,500 to $1,700. But what that card is, and you'll see them, look them up on eBay right now. They're signing like a Sharpie. It'd be like me going up to him right now and getting it signed with this. You know what I mean? Those are from private signings. And Justin Herbert, the reason you see a lot of those is because Herbert signs a lot, and he actually did $150 to $175 per card, which is pretty good if you can sell them for $500-$600. But I didn't personally participate in the signing because I knew my friend was sending in 2,000 Prism cards.
Oh, wow.
But in terms of value, I would just say I personally know if I'm going to buy something because I want it to increase in value, I'll buy a Panini, I'll buy an Upper Deck, I'll buy it, they got it, the company got it, whatever. But if I'm buying,
yeah, I noticed that if it's Upper Deck or if it's Exquisite or whatever, it is way more expensive than if it's like a hand signed, card, a rookie card of that player. And I don't really understand why that is, but I guess that's what you're saying.
It's the card company, because the card company certified it already. And like, don't get me wrong, I really love slab signed cards. If it's like a Tony Gwynn or, even the modern guys, like some of the guys, like I met Miles Bridges and he's an Upper Deck exclusive. He signed my Panini card and I have that. He wasn't supposed to. And I have that signed in my house. And it's like, I don't know what it's worth, but it's kind of like, okay, like that could cater to the right Miles Bridges collector, because Miles Bridges got in trouble for that.
So wait, I mean, I don't know a damn thing about autographs. Like, this is really interesting because there's memorabilia. There's straight up go to a shop and then buy a jersey that is signed. There is the cards that already come signed in the packs. And then there's what's it called? Afterward, like you get your own signature on a card that's not autographed. You just do it on your own. So like, if you're not familiar with autographs at all, and you just know that some cards come in the pack and they're numbered to 50 or 99 or something, and those are the ones that are very limited, and then you have everything else out there, like what's like a couple practical tips or just a better understanding for someone that might be looking at autographed cards or looking at after autographs, what's it called? Like when you
in-person autographs,
in person, where it's just
they're free. Like you're just going to like a training camp and you get it signed. Yeah. Like, so those are good. A lot of Michael Jordan autographs were from like training camps, and like people are going up to him. Like a lot of Jordan authentic. I mean, it's crazy, right?
Okay, so
let me simplify it.
Yeah,
right,
simplify it, and then I gotta shout out this super chat by Dex, which was $20, which is like half my internet bill for me to upgrade. But let's go with your explanation first, and I'll show you.
Simplify it. I'm gonna simplify this. Okay, so in my opinion, like memorabilia is nice. It's awesome. It's at private signings. That's awesome. You could get memorabilia any time of the day. There's certain inscriptions you can get that are rare. The Panini stuff or Fanatics, or not Panini, sorry, Panini Fanatics. Look at me. Panini, like numbered stuff, it has a serial number to it, and it's a rookie autograph. I feel like that has more pull than like a signed Justin Herbert jersey that, you know, you could get any time of the day. He's probably signed thousands of them. But how often does he sign his National Treasures number to 99 auto?
So, like, well, what about this? Hypothetically, you get Justin Herbert's autograph in his rookie year on a piece of memorabilia versus he signs a card 3 years down the road. It's like there's not a way to have a rookie memorabilia autograph that's tied to the card, right?
There's no what is it called, timestamp kind of thing, you know what I mean? Like I totally get that, but I will say aftermarket, I just learned that term now, I guess what you're calling it, in-person autographs or signed memorabilia. I will always say it's way cheaper than these $2,000 pieces of cardboard that you got. I got a Justin Herbert PSA 9 Prism auto that I know is worth $1,500-$1,600. If I really want to keep Justin Herbert's autograph, I can just go buy a jersey, sell that, and then, okay, I have Justin Herbert's autograph. That's why memorabilia is nice. And if you really love that team, you can display it in a cool way.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for me, like,
it's affordable.
This right here, I got this at a card shop south of LA. This is Shaquille O'Neal's Upper Deck rookie card that was blown up, and then he signed over there. And it was Upper Deck on the bottom. So it was actually, or no, it said PSA. It said PSA. So it was one of those PSA authenticated ones. I mean, there's not really a number as to how many he signed. He probably did that a year ago versus 30 years ago, but it's still pretty cool. And it's a very good display piece, but obviously we want to shift to cards a bit. Real quick, let me throw this up from Dex. Dex, really appreciate the $20. That's huge, man. That's super chat, like gold right there. And he picked up a double auto pair of Steph Curry shoes. That's an interesting question. Do you see Steph having the same type of cult-like following that Kobe has? Let's start with you, Jay, and then I want to hear your take, Dustin, as well.
So, yeah, you got a pair of Steph Curry signed shoes. Yeah. Okay, so Steph Curry, I mean, come on. He's going to go down as, you know, one of the best shooters. And the thing is value. If you're thinking about value, right, because it sounds like that's what you kind of want to lean to. Steph Curry still has to, you know, he could still win another championship. He still has to retire. Then he's going to make the Hall of Fame. And then he's going to, you know, documentary about him. And, you know, there's factors that'll increase to that. You know, I think Steph Curry has a very loyal following. I also think Steph Curry is very good about signing. You know, I'm talking for the companies. I'm talking for Fanatics. He's great. He returns all his stuff. He signs it all for the companies. And, you know, he's a likable guy. I think no matter what, any Steph Curry stuff you have is always going to be up there, just like Mike Trout, you know?
What do you think, Dustin?
Yeah, I like it long term. I don't know if it's going to be along the same lines as Kobe, but I do think, though, that he's a generational type player to where he really changed how the NBA plays with the way that you have centers shooting 3-pointers now, you know, because of guys like Steph Curry that turned it into a 3-point NBA league, essentially. Just changed everything. So, yeah, I think that I guess it depends on price point, obviously. Like how much, like Dex, did you throw down like $1 million for it? I guess that would be one thing, but look, I mean, a Jackie Robinson game-worn jersey just sold for over $4 million. I saw a game-worn jersey from Kobe's rookie year. I think it was like a month or two ago, went for like $1.5 million. So like this stuff is not, I mean, on the memorabilia side, it's just as, if not more than these high-end cards that we talk about. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. And for me, I've said this about Steph Curry too. Because of his size and because of the way he shoots, I think he's way more inspirational than a guy like LeBron James or even Kobe, who I think he's like, it's easy to admire Kobe. I admire Kobe. But when you have someone that's 6'4", 6'6", 6'8", it's like, okay, well, most people are not that. Steph Curry is what, like 6 foot or 6'1", something like that?
Yeah, I think he's like 6'2", 6'3". He just looks small on the court next to all the other guys.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay. So he's still obviously taller than average. However, the way he plays and makes guys that are a foot taller than him look like fools because he has these handles and the shot, that's where I can imagine a lot of kids, a lot of smaller players getting into basketball because of being inspired by what he could do as someone that's very small compared to guys that you're expecting to dominate like LeBron James.
Yeah, like he's not a physical specimen. He's like the everyman. You know, he's like the average Joe.
Absolutely. I want to ask Jay, about the news with Fanatics, because like you've been in the hobby for a long time, and it's always been Panini for, I guess, since you've gotten in, and Topps on the baseball side, and now this is a huge curveball. What's going to happen in the next couple of years, and especially as your business expands and you're having deals done with Panini or like product and all this kind of stuff. Like, what's your take as not only a collector but as a business owner who is expanding, how this is going to affect you and your business?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, listen, like when I started collecting in 2011, I still knew about, sports cards, and I knew Upper Deck 09-10 was like the last hoorah for Upper Deck because they lost the license to Panini, and all of us were like, who the heck's Panini, And I remember Upper Deck was just doing that. It had Kevin Garnett on the front. They were like pumping out all the jerseys, all the autos that they could, and they were doing hot boxes. There'd be like a hit in every pack. It was crazy because Upper Deck was, last hoorah, it's over, with their NBA license. So it's gonna be interesting. As a whole, I don't know. I think distribution of product has been, if I'm being honest, it's been piss poor. It's a joke. The distribution, there's old time connections that go on around the United States, and whoever gets these boxes, it's all marked up. All the distribution's all messed up. And I don't know if this is going to correct it or what, but I'm saying for my business long term, where I'll be at in 5 years, I'm sure we can, I think Fanatics is just so good with distribution. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but Fanatics and their memorabilia and everything else that they've been doing, they do a great job.
Well, we became Fanatics fanboys last week after we found out, and we could really use a sponsorship, Fanatics. So we love you guys. You're the best.
Yeah, Fanatics is legit, man. Michael Rubin is good, bro. Michael Rubin from Fanatics. If you don't know this guy, look him up, read about him. Michael Rubin is a business entrepreneur, but gosh, dude, I don't know what they did there. The way they run their operations, I hope Panini or something in the last hoorah these 5 years can take notes, and I hope that we can be thankful for what Panini gave us. And 5 years is a long time. I'm going to tell you this right now. People in here in 5 years, some of you might not be here in 5 years.
We're going to be some of us will be dead in 5 years.
We don't even know.
Let's take it.
The Grim Reaper over here.
We got 184 people watching. There's 3 of us here. Odds are there's going to be one person that's dead.
I'm telling you guys right now. Somebody just said it in the comments. Distribution, I think Fanatics is great with that. So we got to see what's up. But it was funny how everyone asked me why I didn't comment on the situation. It's because I know how this works. I knew that there was going to be more. There's always more, but like I'm not a channel that goes and comments each time something happens. I just let everybody else do it. But I knew that Topps knew this was gonna happen. When Topps had that situation in the beginning, I knew Topps and then Panini, it was all gonna unfold. Fanatics is basically, look at the cable networks. The cable networks took, like Comcast, took all these small cable networks and pounced on them. Remember that? Comcast, DirecTV, all these people, they pounced on all the small cable networks, bought them out, and then bam. That's what Fanatics is doing.
Well, Fanatic, I mean, look, you think of Amazon, you think of these big companies where they just have way more resources and they have a bigger vision. And I just thought of it as, okay, if a company that's not into sports cards, but that has a much bigger valuation is getting in, they have a much bigger vision and they could afford to outbid a company that has to make all their profit on just cards. Because if Fanatics is like, look, we really just want to increase our merchandise sales by 50%. And we feel like we can do that by acquiring the licenses of sports cards. And we could actually just break even on cards or maybe even lose money because we know that when we get those names and those credit card details and we get all of this, there's going to be a much higher chance that they buy something else from us. So I look at it from a business standpoint as well. They're looking at all the different pieces of the sporting arena of like, all right, you get your tickets here and then you're going to buy your jerseys and then you're going to do this. And then maybe there's an NFT and here's cards. And to me, it's exciting because it's a bigger company with a bigger vision getting involved. It's not nice from the old collector standpoint of, I love seeing Topps Chrome as a kid. I love seeing Topps Finest. And now I'm getting used to Panini and some of their products. And now here we go again. And Fanatics, do I think of Fanatics as a brand that could sell $1,000 card? Not right now. But at the same time, when I first started, I was kind of chuckling to myself about the name Panini because I could just always think of a sandwich. Now, when I hear panini, I actually think of cards before the sandwich.
Well, that's good, Brad.
What is
I don't know
that?
where do we go from there? No, I do agree with you though. I do think they're going to be like the one-stop shop where you get your cards, your T-shirt, your NFTs, all of it kind of through their site or whatever. I think it will. I think that's probably a big part of their vision is the Amazon of sports memorabilia, and they get it. I mean, like I don't know. I was talking about it on a video today, but at their booth, Brad and I were at their booth, and they had like a $10,000 or $12,000 Tom Brady mystery box. And it had like some crazy, game ticket that he signed or whatever. That was somebody bought this mystery box. So I think that they also understand kind of that sports betting, side of it as well. And the scarcity, the rarity stuff with their mem. I'm kind of excited too. It's like on the memorabilia side, they should have some pretty crazy like game worn stuff. Like they should have some really cool card options, on that end.
100%, man. On that,
if they don't, then it would be like if they're not going to have it, then nobody's going to have it. I feel like mean they should have all sorts of like random stuff.
That'd be sick, man. I mean, dude, if they this is what I've always wanted. I think everyone can picture this out. Hear me out here. OBJ makes that one-handed catch. What if they would have gotten one of the jerseys? Not saying that's pretty iconic, but like, what if they got that jersey and then they put that photo with that jersey from that, and it's at 100? Like, dude, oh my gosh, bro, jersey cards would.
And then the other thing too is if the players have ownership, if like the players associations have ownership, then like does OBJ like sell them or give them the ball that he caught, and then that ball is used like cut up and used in a like they could do a lot of stuff with that. I don't know exactly how that partnership would work, but I'm sure the player. It's kind of like when a player has a milestone and they keep that ball, that game ball. The player can do whatever they want with that ball, so maybe they sell it to Fanatics or they have some sort of deal worked out. I don't know, but that's just like thinking outside the box.
Yeah, I feel like the creativity will be there just because they have the options. They're not going to be stepping on the toes of someone else. It seems like, all right, we have the licenses for cards, but we also have the rights to the memorabilia. We have the rights maybe to more autographs or locker room stuff. And I mean, maybe you buy a jersey, and with the jersey purchase, you're entered to win a box of cards, or there's ways of combining the 2 or 3. And I mean, to me, it's like, I don't want to say it's going to be a poor product. I don't want to say it's going to be overproduced or anything, just because there's no point this far out. But I believe it will be creative. It will be a lot. What they're capable of is a lot more than what a single manufacturer of cards is capable of. But again, that's pretty far out. So
I see that. I want to comment too quickly on the monopoly comments, and I understand that. I understand kind of the downsides to that, but I don't think that Topps, Panini, Leaf, I don't think they're going away. I think that they're still making cards and they're still finding a way to work in the market. So I don't necessarily think that it's just Fanatics and that will be all. I think there will be other things as well, but I do understand kind of the hesitations, but we'll just have to see. We'll have to see how it plays out.
Another thing I'll add to this is, this is food for thought, and everyone in here, can think about this and marinate on this, and we can discuss this for the next 4.5 years, but it's
every
just
day.
Every single day we're going to have a new, prediction of what they're going to do. If Panini and Topps, I don't know if I'm saying this right. I don't even know if they're smart. Most of the artists and the production people, the marketing people, the digital creators from Panini will end up on Fanatics.
Yeah.
It's a given, guys. It's going to happen. Most of your favorite people that created, the 90s cards that work for Upper Deck, they ended up at Panini.
Yeah. Well, I mean, why wouldn't you? If you're Fanatics, you're going and cherry picking the people that you want from Panini and Topps to join you to say, hey, we really like your design. This is really popular. We need help here. I mean, and it's like, I don't know if there's how many jobs are going to be left for Panini or Topps if they are only Panini's only doing soccer and UFC or something like that. And I don't know what Topps is doing, but obviously there's going to be some layoffs. There's going to be some transitions. But yeah, right now it's like, if you're working for Panini, you're doing the best you can, knowing that you're building your resume for Fanatics, because they're going to need people. They're probably not going to hire now or maybe for another 2 or 3 years. But when the time comes, everything that you're doing now is just part of your resume. So, yeah, I mean, I totally agree.
And then here's the good news is that if you don't like what Fanatics is doing, you have 100 years going back of cards to choose from, of inventory. You know what I mean? Like you just go back to what you like, that's from the past. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. So Jay, what are you collecting now? What are you really liking product wise, sport wise? What's really catching your eye, especially since you've been in for so long?
Yeah. I come from the, generation of people that I like on-card autos a lot. I think on-card autos, I don't talk about them or pick them up enough, but I think on-card autos, I think when the players physically handed the cards, like even in a stack, and they actually have to sign the card versus they're handed 1,000 stickers. That's just my personal preference. I love on-card autos. I'm not going to dog it. I own sticker autos. It is what it is. I'll take them for what they are. But I look for on-card autos. I love game worn. When it says game used, game worn, I feel like that's awesome. All of NT or whatever just came out, it's not game worn, so it's kind of funny to me. Like the logo man of Keldon Johnson is $5,000. Buy it now, but it was probably worn at when he was sitting at dinner at Olive Garden.
I mean, if you smell the marinara on it, then okay, it's Olive Garden or Carrabba's, one of the two.
But and another thing I'll say is I'm trying to get into different stuff like Pokemon right now, just something different, not new Pokemon, just kind of stuff that I used to like if I can find it for a good price. Or I'm trying to get into vintage and I'm going to say everything, vintage soccer, boxing, UFC, but you know what I mean? I always tell this on my YouTube videos. And if you guys watch my videos, you know this, I'm not an expert at all on stuff. And I'll tell you when I'm I have no idea what the heck I'm talking about with this. I picked it up. I think it looks cool. I'm trying to learn. So that's when, and then people in my YouTube comment section always educate me on hey, this is what this is. This is what that is. And it's kind of cool. I learn.
You have any vintage autographs?
Vintage. I've met Sandy Koufax, so that's a vintage autograph. I mean, my memorabilia collections, we're going to do a video on it actually, because it's that crazy. I have a crazy memorabilia collection. I think a lot of people don't realize my memorabilia collection's a lot better than my card collection.
What's your most prized autograph?
I met Koufax at 2015 spring training, and he doesn't really do private signings. I think that's pretty cool. Otherwise, I've met Clint Eastwood. I don't know. I have so many. I don't know, man. It's tough. It's a tough one. I'll do the video on it.
What do you think? Because I don't know if you have a perspective on this, but I've always wanted to get into or just have more celebrity autographs or celebrity cards. I would love a Clint Eastwood opening up and getting a Clint Eastwood refractor signed, or Dwayne The Rock Johnson, or because we had Dwayne The Rock Johnson's Miami football card that is his rookie card that went for $10,000 half a year ago. But I want his Scorpion King or one of his first movie ones, because to me that's special, because that's his rookie year of his movie career. I want, to me, maybe it's because I live in LA and everywhere is some sort of entertainment, but is that something that, I don't know, people ask you about, or is that something with the autographs that you see a lot of? Because to me, a celebrity is someone I could follow for 20 years, their career I could follow for 20, 30 years. Most athletes, it's oh, you were drafted high, and then by year 2, you're a second string, and then year 3, you're nobody.
Yeah, no, dude, 100%. I mean, you can actually look. I mean, I bought that James Gandolfini auto. I mean, that was crazy for me. I love exactly what you're preaching about. Goodwin Champions and Flawless kind of incorporated that a little bit. And honestly, look it up. Look up some of those Marvel autographs. They're very expensive. They are more expensive than a lot of cards. That just shows you how scarce they are. Could I see the companies maybe collaborating? I've noticed a lot of celebrities during COVID have been doing a lot of private signings since they're not really filming, which is kind of rare because a lot of celebrities like Robert Downey Jr. just signed an exclusive with a company I know, Star Wars Autograph Universe, and he doesn't really do very many signings. You could actually send stuff in, and I'm wondering if the card companies maybe start plugging into these signings. I mean, dude, I would love a Robert Downey Jr. auto.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
on a card, that'd be sick.
Yeah, why not? I mean, a little piece of the Iron Man uniform or outfit or something, they just shred that up, have little pieces of that. Who wouldn't want a piece of Iron Man's actual costume? You know what I mean? Sick. You're going to give a piece of a jersey, but a piece of any superhero's outfit or a prop or something from a movie. I mean, to me, that's pretty cool too. But anyway, it's time for me to pee. Dustin, why don't you take it from here? Please don't ruin it.
Actually, when you were talking about the celebrity cards, it made me think of, I think Leaf does that. I think that Leaf, Brian Gray at Leaf
does a great job.
Yeah, I think he does special deals with certain people because I might have this wrong, but I think he said he got Madonna or somebody, he got like, some big stars to do some cards for him. So I remember when I was a kid too, I don't know, and I'm quite a bit older than you, but like back in the, late 80s, early 90s at the mall, you go to the mall and they had like the sports memorabilia shows going on at the mall with cards and all the stuff. And there was always these like 8x10 signed, all the celebrity, like 8x10 signatures. That was back though when there was like a big scandal with like celebrity or like guys that were counterfeiting them, or there's like weird COAs and all that. So I don't know how much of that stuff was real or not, because it was back before there was really heavy like grading, that was looking at it. So I don't know.
That was quick.
Dude, I don't wash my hands when I'm at home.
Yeah, that was weird. He actually went number 2. It was that fast.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure. It started at number 1 and went to number 2. Okay, so what was the question about what the authenticity of celebrity autographs?
I was just saying, I remember when I was a kid in the mall, they had like big shows, like card shows in the mall, and there was always booths that had like 8x10 signed by all the different celebrities. And some of them, I'm not saying that they weren't real, but there was definitely like stuff that was going on back then where there was some bogus stuff as well. So I wonder, and I was saying that Brian Gray with Leaf does do cards. He does signed cards that are from celebrities.
I have heard about that with Leaf. I have seen some. I just don't think it's very big. It's not like I want something a lot bigger of an industry. I just wish there was more of a movement towards that, because I don't know. I guess I'm drawn to that more than the majority of athletes. But anyway, so I want to get back to the business side of it for you, Jay. You're expanding your business in a lot of ways. Like what are you doing now with your breaks? Because I know that's one of the more recent aspects of your business.
Yeah. Something I always talk about, and hopefully this caters to a lot of people that, want to start an autograph or a card business. If this helps you, that's awesome. There's 2 things you need in the industry. You need following and funding. And we had a following. It's awesome. You guys are amazing. And funding is kind of what we're focusing on now. We're building revenue like it's a business, because I want to use that money toward, other things in the future, like owning a card shop and all these other things. So we are doing breaking. The funny thing that I talked to somebody about, I think it was in New York or Chicago. They're like, man, you all of a sudden you just wanted to break. And I'm like, well, I always knew breaking was there. I mean, I used to break when I was in high school. I was breaking, like, you're going to think this is crazy, but Giannis's rookie year, I think I was a senior in high school, and the break was $3.50 a team, 30 teams, whatever it is, 32 teams. I mean, that's nothing. I was making $10 profit, and I was like, it was amazing, because I was like, oh, now I can get that Paul Pierce auto that I want, because it was only like $20, It wasn't that expensive.
Wild,
collecting in 2010, 11, 08 was the recession. So like 2009, 2010. And then when I collected in 2011, people kind of like, I hate to say this, but like, if you collected, like people like thought you were a nerd. They thought it was terrible. I mean, I was in high school. My friends used to like think it was weird that I was collecting. Now it's like a complete 180.
So
same people.
Right. And like when you talk about those numbers and we look at the numbers now, and it's just literally 10x what it was. I mean, something in that case, way more than 10x, but a lot of cases, even from a year and a half ago, it's 10 times more. I want to get your take on whether it's just a warning people or just because you've been in so long, your perspective is a lot grander than someone like myself, even who's only been back since February 2020. What's like the biggest piece of advice you give to kids or people that come up to you that are like, hey, I just got in the hobby. I found your stuff. It's great. And you want to make sure that they are going to be in for the long haul and they collect and invest correctly or break correctly according to them. And they're not going to get burnt out or burnt as a whole and leave the hobby. What's something that you pass on to them?
I tell this to a lot of people. I think, there's no right cookie cutter way to collect. And another thing I tell people is like, go through mistakes, because you will learn so much, in your collecting mistakes. I'm going to say it, Drew Lock. I'm going to say it right now. I bought his PSA 10. This is, you said I have a lot of experience, right? So 2019, I think it was, or summer of 2020, I bought the card for $450 for a base PSA 10 Prism, Drew Lock.
Hey, dude, thanks for sharing that, man. Because I would have never guessed. And I mean, I make tons of mistakes too. I
do it all the time, bro.
What's funny, let me put this up real quick by Troy. I don't know if I showed this earlier. I literally had my cupcakes right here the whole time. These cupcakes are legit. They're $4 for 4 vegan cupcakes from Trader Joe's. They're very delicious. So I appreciate that. We'll definitely get you one autographed. It'll be moldy by the time it arrives, probably crawling with maggots, but appreciate you, Troy. Yeah.
Wow. It's dark. It's dark tonight. You're coming in hot, like it's Halloween.
Keep it real, man. It's my birthday. I can do
it's
that.
Your birthday. Heck yeah. I should drive down. It's 5.5 hours away.
Well, that's why I'm going to punish my body with all this junk food right here. Okay. So in terms of mistakes, I saw, this was one of the best interviews I saw, which was Jeremy from Sports Cards Live interviewed Patrick Bet David, who's a real estate tycoon. I don't know what he's worth, but it's like 9 figures. He's a very wealthy guy. He has a great station, Value Entertainment. And he said, there was one thing that stuck out what he said. He goes, I'm looking to win 51% of the time, right? If I win 51% of the time, then I'm going to make my money. I'm going to succeed. And I feel like it's very easy to get swept away with everything's got to be right. I need to make every decision the right way, because that's just not realistic in life, and definitely not in investing, where I look at a lot of my investments, like from even this football season, where I'm like, man, they're like at the same price I paid for them back in January, because the market did not do what I thought it was going to do, which was I thought it was going to be similar to last year. It's not at all. The print runs have gone up. Base and silver is not nearly what it was, let's see, August of 2020. And now they're sitting at the same prices I paid for them. So like, that's kind of a disappointment, but and there's some players like Jarrett Stidham. I bought Jarrett Stidham. I only paid $40 to $45 for a PSA 10, but I thought that if he's named the starter of the Patriots last year at one point, then he would be no worse than the backup. And now I don't even know if he's on the Patriots roster. So it's like, if I can win more than I lose, I'm happy. But I'm glad that you mentioned that you made that mistake or that poor investment, because looking at you and the success you've had and how long you've been in, I'd say, oh, dude, this guy knows everything. This guy nails it on the head every time.
I think that's an important lesson, though, like a life lesson, I think. And Brad, I know we both have kind of like sales background in our past, but man, once you've done like cold calling a little bit and you've done like you're used to rejection every single day, you get used to it. You kind of learn that losing is okay and it's good for you. It's okay to lose sometimes. It's like it's okay for that. That's how you learn. I mean, this whole idea that we're never going to lose and we're never going to spend maybe spend a few bucks that we want to have back. That's just not reality. That's not how the world works. So, I kind of get lost in that sometimes, where it's just like, that's just part of life and it's good for you. I mean, it's good to obviously, stay within your means, but I think those are good lessons. And that's how you kind of get in and learn some of that stuff.
100%. And another thing I'll add to this is like PC. This was all we did PC. Like, I don't care if you PC, I PC DeMarcus Cousins, Sacramento Kings. Like, it keeps me grounded for when that Drew Lock happens. I can go through my PC box in the middle of the night and be like, man, I love this. This means a lot to me. It's my hometown. And I think that's something, find somebody to collect. I don't care if it's Terry McLaurin or Hunter Renfro or I don't know, just like the most random person. Like them, follow them on social media, find out why you like them,
I cry with my Drew Brees cards. I just sit there over there in the corner.
What a cool investment. What a cool buy. What a cool thing.
When I think of Ryan Finley and Will Greer rookie cards, and I'm just sitting over there and I'm just like the tear. I just can't stop the tears. I'm choking on them. But I've got those, I've got like the Breeze, flawless auto. I get to stare at that, and it's like, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay.
That's sick, man.
But seriously though, that it really, I mean, we're joking, but there is something to that though. That's part of the fun of it.
Yeah. And I mean, even from the investment side, I think the way I'm leaning more as I go, as this hobby evolves month by month, I mean, like really week by week, there's something new in the hobby, but at least every month or two, there's something big happening. And the demographics changing, and then crypto does bad, and then the cards do bad, and then something with the election or something COVID, and this changes. It's literally like, I want to find the deals on the players that if I'm going to look at their card because they tank in value, at least I'm happy looking at the card. I'd love for it to be both a collectible and an investment, just because then I'll be able to move it if I decide to. But yeah, like a lot of the Deshaun Watsons I bought, I'm glad. Like I wish the prices had gone up because I paid a pretty good price. Like his cards peaked at like 1,200 for a Prism Silver PSA 10, and that was when the trade rumors were really high before the allegations. And then after that, when they were dipping down to about 650, I was buying his Prism Silvers, thinking that I think he's going to play, and there's no way it's going to go down more. Now I think it's around 600 or so. So it, after all that, it dipped. Maybe he gets traded. Maybe he goes to jail. Who knows? I don't know. But the point is that, am I happy looking at those cards? No. Like they're cards that I go, that was pure inventory. I don't want to look at him. I wasn't a fan before because I never saw the Texans. I just knew that he was a good quarterback. But would I rather that be Tom Brady cards or Rob Gronkowski rookie cards or other ones that if I could buy low and it made a good investment and collectible, or for me, I would much rather take that than the guys that are pure investments where I know that if I don't get rid of them, I'm going to be upset with the purchase.
That's fair. Jay, do you have anything? Do you want to throw some oil on that fire? Make fun of Brad?
Yeah, man. What are you thinking, Brad? Come on.
Hey. I mean, what were people thinking paying $1,000 or $1,200 for the card because they might because Deshaun Watson might get traded in January of last year? That's when the prices were at the peak. At least I paid half.
Let me throw you a curveball. Brad would be a genius, and this is a good one. People are gonna love this. If they would have traded Deshaun Watson for Tua, you'd be bad. You'd be in good shape because he would dominate with the Dolphins.
Yeah,
but it didn't happen. Who cares now? But I'm just saying that was a rumor. Yeah. That would have been a nice swap.
But who knows, right? But look, it's
who knows? He could honestly he could move. He could still move.
Well, that's the thing is like there's Damian Lillard trade rumors. I think those have died down a bit, but there's still a lot of time. Like, and remember, some of these trades happen out of the blue. It's literally like things like all of a sudden I'll look at the ESPN app and it'll be like Jordan Love traded to the Dolphins. I'll be like, holy crap, it happened. And sometimes it just happens after everything has died down and out of the blue, it just, there it is. And then now, cards are going crazy. Everything on SportsCenter is all about that. So if there's trade rumors and it's slowed down, it's like, all right, well, if the prices simmer, but the option's still there, then that's a pretty good opportunity in my book. But let's talk a bit about NFL season, just because we have kickoff starting in a couple of weeks. And there is a question here by Adam. I think I have like 8 or 9 Minshew's. Here's the thing. I only paid about 40 to 45 a piece. So I'm thinking, please just get traded, or please have Trevor Lawrence just get benched once.
So what are your plans for those guys? Like, because you've got a few of those guys. Do you just look to break even at some point, or do you wait till next season?
Well, yeah. Well, if you're talking about, are you talking to me or talking to Mojo?
Well, I guess, I'm talking to you, Brad. Like for the Minshew's, for example, okay, he doesn't get a starting job. Like, do you just kind of look to break even on those in the next few weeks, or do you wait till next year to see if he can come somewhere else? And
so when I did the video on making full-time income, I expected a third of my investments to make money, a third to lose, and a third to break even. I'm at a point where I'm like, if I can break even on a lot and then use that money for NBA and make one less mistake, or be a bit more intentional, or because honestly, like the Kyler Murray Prism PSA 10, I thought that was a good buy. I bought those for $360 to $400 in January, and when you see it where that price was over the prior season, it had hit like $1,200 or $1,400, and that was super low. That card is still, I think, at like $360 to $400 now, but the problem is that there were 1,400 of which back then, and now there's 2,400. And I knew that was going to be a card that would go up and pop. What I didn't know is that people would not be nearly as eager to put in their money this season, or what it appears, as last season. And maybe that's just so many more cards that are vying for that money. But entering this NFL season, it resembles nothing like what we saw last year. And I mean, even in the NBA, we saw, NBA season before the playoffs last year in 2020, it went crazy. And then before tip-off, it went pretty crazy again. For NFL, it just seems like we had one big bubble around August, September, and then not another one at all. So I'm totally content selling at break even, because if I can buy low enough that there's a chance I make money or a chance I break even with a very small chance of losing, I'm totally good with that.
What about you, Jay? Are you focused on a certain sport right now as far as buying goes?
Yeah, so I mean, you guys know I talk about it a lot more than I used to. I talk about some of the plays I make. I do make some plays. I just don't always talk about it, just because we're going to so many shows and doing this. But
yeah, well, you don't have to talk about specifics, but just like sports, like
just in general.
Baseball,
Like I was gonna kind of chime in on what Brad said. Like I think Brad with the Gardner Minshew's and stuff like that. I think when to opportunity. I mean, you guys know what opportunity cost is. If you can't move them, what are you gonna do? Sit on them. Just take the loss. Like the Drew Lock. The Drew Lock's perfect example, except he's not playing, so it's a terrible example because that card's even worse now. But I think I'm going to keep that Drew Lock as like my trophy of like never buy that again, But it is what it is.
Even going back to that, why did you buy that card? What did you see in him and the card for you to say that I want to make this purchase that you wouldn't repeat? Because at the time, a lot of people were talking about him and Minshew and everyone else, right? Everyone's could be a great quarterback. Daniel Jones and Sam Darnold and all the rest.
I think for me, I mean, dude, everything like this was card market peak moments, dude. Like 450 was a lot for like that. But I read some articles and I was like, oh, maybe he will be good, But now I know my lesson behind it. It's like, I mean, I think about the quarterbacks now and it's like let's be real. Burrow, Tua, what's the heck is
Herbert?
Herbert, those four guys, I'm gonna tell you right now. Playoffs or bust kind of situations because it's that sophomore slump everyone starts to talk about. Watch out for that shit.
My problem with NFL QBs is there's so many good QBs right now, or so many good or so many average, however you want to look at it. There's like a giant bucket of guys. There's probably like 20 to 25 QBs that are like, what's going to happen? Like Carson Wentz, Dak Prescott, all those guys you just said, like Hurts, Burrow, like they could have amazing seasons. They could have average seasons. They could have bad seasons. I can't differentiate between any of those guys, frankly. So that's why I've just been hesitant with QBs. No,
100%, man. I think you want to invest in like the GOATs. Everyone talks about that, but like if you're talking modern market, like guy like Josh Allen, like I'm not going to sell Josh Allen after week one. I'm in that Josh Allen red prism for a 1350, and I'm happy about that because that was a good deal for a color match auto. A lot of people need to start getting into the hollow autos, so there's something else there, team color match. If it matches the color and you have an auto, it's amazing. But that kind of card, I would be okay with waiting and betting on the Bills doing well versus like my Justin Herbert. It's like week one, like he better pop off or that card everyone's just kind of be like, huh, there's my niece. Hey,
photo.
But like, it's just one of those things like, it's just kind of like a game, it's like gambling. So you have to watch out. But I think week one, a lot of guys are going to explode and the prices are going to go, but then it's kind of it'll like ebb and flow. Cause like week 5 or 6, I think football kind of just goes like this. Cause then guess what happens, Brad, you're going to know basketball starts coming in.
Yeah. And we got a short off season for NBA. And that was concerning me too. I was like, well, there's people, I think a lot of people are thinking NBA already. And with good reason, we're only 2 months out, yet football starts in a week and a half, 2 weeks. So I was thinking, and then baseball playoffs start very soon. And then hockey is going to start very soon. So yeah, there's a lot of concern or just a lot of like, there's X amount of dollars, there's X amount of things to watch on TV and attention. Where's that going to go? And as big as football is, if the 3 other sports are starting or having playoffs, it's still going to get divided up. So yeah, for me, I like what you said about the color matches. I saw a comment that said color matches are dumb. Aesthetics are huge, man. Aesthetics, like
yeah. What do you want me to do? You want me to get a Aaron Rodgers with a purple? Like, does that look cooler?
The worst one is when you have the green. I think green prism on 90% of cards are just atrocious to the point where I'd rather have a base than a green prism, because if the team's color is red or maroon or I don't know, just anything besides green or white or maybe blue, I just think it looks dreadful. And I remember seeing like a Kobe White green prism last year and thinking it looked like a Christmas card. So I'm like, Chicago Bulls red with green prism. This is hideous. It's like an ugly Christmas sweater. Why would someone pay more for it than even a base card? Because even though it's rarer, who cares if it's rare if it's ugly?
Yeah, I mean, I think that plays a role too. But I do stick to my guns. Like I bought a Lamar Jackson Black Velocity for $13.50. That seems to be this magic number that I'm buying these at. But I'm telling you, those two cards. If I said it, if I gave you this deal, what would you think? And every person I've talked to is like, dude, I would pay like $1,500-$1,600 for that. And that's like me playing the game, but I'd rather play that game in certain situations. But it gets tough. Like I want a Brady auto. But I know deep down, if I can't buy a Brady auto right now, they're just so high.
Yeah.
If I wanted a Brady auto, I should have bought it like 3-4 months ago. Maybe.
I mean, well, look, there's always just invest in the GOATs. Keep it simple, always the GOATs. However, if you want the primary rookie cards, that's going to be through the roof. So then you're going to have to look at others. So let's just say someone is like, look, I only want to invest in Brady, James, Jordan, Bryant, etc. Maybe Mahomes if you want to put them in the category already. But if you want to just invest in those guys, what would you look to first if you only had $200 or $300 and the rookie cards would be out of the equation?
Let me say one more thing about this thing because it just came into my head. This happened about 8 years ago. I was like a junior in high school, and I remember somebody was like, why would you pay whatever, like more for a James Harden autograph or Jeremy Lin actually than a Clyde Drexler auto? And I looked at him, and it's funny, I could say this now. It makes more sense now than it did back then because you weren't really investing. You'd invest like 75 to get 120. It wasn't that big of a deal. But I say it now is it's because you can hold that when you own, like you know this feeling, when you own the player that just scored 4 touchdowns, it's electrifying. It brings you closer to the game too, right, as a fan. But I think from an investment, if you're trying to make some money, dude, there's something there. There's a rush. There's something there.
Yeah, it's like sports betting with something tangible attached to it. You know, it's like your daily fantasy.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
I don't talk about it enough on my channel. I know the feeling. It's a rush. It's ridiculous.
Well, I mean, a lot of the guys that do daily fantasy love cards for that, or they got into cards for that reason. Because it's like a daily fantasy, you lose the money. At least with cards, you've got something, you know, for the next week.
Well, I mean, I know I get that feeling when I open the ESPN app and I see breaking news and it's some sort of injury or it's some sort of trade or something. And I just go, okay, what does this mean? And then if it's an injury, I'm like, okay, who do I have? Who's the backup? If it's a trade, okay, what happened? Who? And then seeing who I have. And then that rush of, let me take a picture of it and put it on eBay, because if there's a chance, it is right now. And that happened with Damian Lillard, not last summer, the summer 2020, when he went off on those 3 games, scoring 50 something and then 60. And I was like, holy crap, got to list the cards. And then I'm selling Panini Brilliance raw rookie cards of Damian Lillard, like a 5-pack for $150 for 4 or 3 of them. I think 3 of them for $150. I'm like, if you want it, take it. Like, I don't think he's going to score 50-something points in a 4th game in a row. So I was able to sell some there, and I missed out on others. I listed a bit too late and whatnot and asked for too much. But, yeah, you get a rush when you see something happen right in front of your eyes, and you know that what you have, you know, has just doubled in price based on that.
There's a deeper strategy there, dude, because you're talking about Damian Lillard's, right? Think about it. That's like cool. But like, imagine if you could really predict like a Kaboom blowing up in like 10 years or a PMG. Like these people are talking about buying LeBrons right now. I'll be honest with you. A LeBron auto for like $2-3 grand. Even if you freaking hate the guy, I do think it's not a bad buy for like longevity. That's my personal, you know, letting you guys in on something. It's kind of crazy.
Well, I mean, did you see the Kobe Crusade card that I bought months and months ago and got him graded? The 2012 Kobe Crusade.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was one of those cards where just like a Kaboom or a Marvel or something else, you see something special in the card, and you know that if there's enough people in the hobby where if you see something special, if something registers with you, there's got to be a couple thousand of other people out there that it registers with as well. They just don't know about it yet. And whether it's the Marvels or Kaboom or that Kobe Crusade card, you buy it, and then, you know, the world sees it, someone sees it, and they find it special as well. And then you can make a huge profit. And that today is my best investment so far, period. These were $8 and $10 raw cards, spent $30 to get graded, $20 the first time, $13 the second time. And I've been selling them for, the highest was $1,200. The lowest was, I think, $650 or so. And I'm like, okay, that wipes out a lot of mistakes. still making some mistakes, but at least that one right there wiped out a lot of them. So
Dustin, we got to shut up. Talk.
No, I know. I think it kind of riding on the point that you were talking about with kabooms. It's kind of fun to think about, like, what is that future nostalgia going to be like? Like, what are the PMGs going to, of today, down the line? And I know everyone's kind of talking there. A lot of people are into the kabooms. I feel like they're making a lot of kabooms now, though, for different sets, so, and I'm not knocking them. I don't own any of them. So I'm not,
I don't have any of them either.
I think they're beautiful cards. But I just wonder, like 10, 15, 20 years down the road, like what are those people going to look back on and be like what are going to be the 90s basketball inserts of of that time period? That part's really fun to kind of speculate on that stuff.
Yeah. And I love the downtowns, the optic downtowns. I think those are great. The Tom Brady one, I was like, this is perhaps the best card I've ever seen because it's the city as well.
So here's one that's in that set that I picked up. This Cornerstones. Have you seen these Cornerstones?
On card auto.
So this is new for me. I just found these a few weeks ago. I think they started in 2016. It's basketball and football, or maybe it's basketball, baseball. Either way, but they're on card autos. And then depending on, this one is a Durant numbered out of 25 on card auto. They have them numbered out of 25, 49, 99, but depending on what it is, it's got it's also got game used jersey in it as well. And then depending on if it's numbered out of 25, it's got 4 patches that are unique. Whereas if it's numbered out of 99, it's got 1 patch that's unique or something like that. I don't know. It's kind of a cool set, but I was just looking through that and thought it was interesting. I've been focused on the patch auto stuff because kind of like what you were talking about, Jay, it's like, I'm looking at Kobe, LeBron, and Jordan patch auto stuff going for tens of thousands of dollars. And then I'm seeing random, but National Treasures, Larry Bird, on card patch, $300. Why is that? It just doesn't add up for me. I don't get it. So I've been looking at kind of the on card patch auto stuff that's National Treasures or Flawless or whatever, and thinking why is Kobe is, and then also if you go to Beckett.com, I know I've been preaching this, but I think it's a really good tool to use. On Beckett.com, you can type in the player name at the top, and then it'll show you on the left side. You can filter out all the autos, all the card autos that they've got. So it'll show you, and you can compare. So you can look at how many Jordan autos there are, how many Kevin Durant there are, and you can kind of figure out what's scarce, what's not, who's signing a lot, who's not signing a lot, and that's kind of fun. So that's been kind of the game I'm playing. Yeah, Shane Robert Moreland, you are right. Bird does have a lot. So on that Beckett.com, he's got about 2,900 different cards. So you look at something a lot of these are numbered to this one's numbered to 25, but he signed 2,900. He's got almost 3,000 different cards like this. So there's a lot of inventory. In comparison, LeBron James has 1,400 cards, 1,500 cards, according to that Beckett site. But that's the thing that I don't get is there's a lot of guys that have less than him that are far less expensive. And I get that he's, LeBron James and one of the GOATs and all that stuff. But I don't know. I just said that's where I'm always looking for value and downside protection. That's where I've been focused over the last couple of months. All right. That's my spiel. Go ahead.
You done?
I'm done. Yeah. That's I mean, hey, look, and this is a buy whatever you want. I'm just sharing kind of my thoughts here. Buy what you want. Buy what you like.
I mean, look, we're gonna head off in a bit. I think there's a theme in the hobby which is way different from last year, which last year was very much this is what's popular, this is what's going up, and it really was Prism Silver and Optic Hollow. There were a few, and then now I think it's evolving where there's more data points on these other cards. The aesthetics matter a lot more. We're seeing more volume. We're getting more confidence in what is a good price, where color matches and, rare inserts and on patch autos and all that kind of stuff where, it should be more valuable, but you weren't sure why it wouldn't take off the way that a base card or a silver would take off. Now those, I think, are just sustaining the hobby a lot more. And it's making more sense when you look at a card and go, that should be more expensive. And now it is, versus why is this cheaper than this card that it has nothing to do with the player. They didn't touch it. There's not a piece of their jersey on it. So I feel like it's maturing in that sense. But any final thoughts, Jay, before we sign off? I wanted to give you a little closing session right here.
Yeah, man, I just want to say closing, Brad, Dustin, thanks for having me. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I really appreciate all you guys, the community. This is important to me, and I know it's important to these two guys. The community is what we're trying to, embrace here, elevate the hobby. I'm not a know-it-all. I'm not an expert. I like to learn from you guys. I like talking shop, and it's pretty fun. So we got to just keep it going. This thing's all inclusive, not exclusive. So I'm very happy that you guys had me on. Thank you.
Yeah, it's our pleasure. And where would you like people to connect with you at?
Yeah, for sure. Let's do some shameless plugs. Let's go. I'm getting better at this in my YouTube videos. If you want single cards or box breaks or anything, you can go to mojosports.org. You can follow me on Instagram at Mojo Autographs. And my telephone number is – actually, no, we'll save that for another time.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Dude, we get gassed up.
No, just because Dustin will be prank calling you at like 5 o'clock in the morning.
I'll be like, hey, Jay, I just made a video about my reaction to your reaction to Fanatics. Is that cool?
hey, join my premiere. That's on at 4:30 a.m. East Coast time.
Don't miss all my premieres tomorrow.
Yeah. Very cool. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us. It was a pleasure having you on, Jay. Thanks so much, Dustin, as usual, for joining us. And y'all have a great night. Make sure to follow Jay on Instagram as well as his YouTube station. All right. We'll see you next time.